Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, and I am back again. I told you I would be. Look, I want to share something with you young people. You young people who have not been around that long. And for the most part, you are naive about a lot of things. And let me see if I can refer you to some sources that can bring you up to date. If you want to know more about America and America's foundation, you should go back to some old movies. Old movies. See, back in the day when a lot of things took place, the nation was proud of it. And so when they made movies, they just told it like it was. They didn't try to scheme too much. They always did some scheming, but not too much. For instance, if you go back and watch the old westerns with John Wayne and Randolph Scott and those guys such as that, you will see what the Indians, the natives, really had to endure from white people. You will see the lies and how they broke treaties and put them out on reservations and slaughtered them and abused them. You'd really see that. And today, probably, I hope, you would not think that people would do that to other people here in America. Maybe some other place, but not here in America. This history will affirm that, yes, America did it too, and this is why they're still doing it. You will find out through those old movies how blacks were treated, how they called blacks niggers and toms and all kind of foolish stuff. You would find out exactly how they used to treat black people. You would find out how they used to abuse them, how they separated them, how they treated them less than animals. I mean, this information would be really, really significant if you were concerned about dealing with some truths. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, if you went further back, they even told some stories that nobody watches now, but if you went back to those old movies when they implied that Jesus was on the earth, you would understand that there was a message that Jesus brought to the people that was a little bit different than the Pharisees and Sadducees and those other people who were passing down information that they received from people like Abraham and others. You would find out that those people, back in those days, when they started listening to the message of Jesus, it was so fantastic, they believed it so dearly, until they stopped listening to the government. They started saying the government is anti-God. They started saying that government was evil, and they resisted the government. And because they did, you would see in the movies where hundreds of them would be lined up on trees, coming into a city or leaving a city, hung or nailed up, crucified as a reaction to their failure to listen to the government, to listen to Caesar, any Pharaoh. This is the same thing that happened to Jesus, according to the story. He wouldn't listen. And so the message to all people that would follow Jesus is don't listen to the government. Don't listen to the systems. You want to know the truth? Don't listen to these people who are abusing you. If they abuse you, how can you expect them or believe that they will ever tell you the truth? I was talking to a preacher earlier today, and I was having basically this conversation with him. And I said, I was wondering if God had put this here, the United States and the earth, for people everywhere on this earth, for them to use this as a university, for the people to actually make a decision. Were they interested in God's plan, or were they interested in the plan of Satan, or the plan of men, or the plans of government, whatever you want to call it? And if we applied what was happening back in those days to what's happening today, the people would have made a choice. They accepted government. Well, see, what happened is that I want you, the people, to know that government, you, the people, you are God's priority, not government. Government was made for you, the people. The leadership of government was made for you, the people. The one always in power is you, the people. When government is killing and abusing people, it is your responsibility, it is your duty, it is your call to straighten that situation out. Well, that I share that with you doesn't mean anything. You're not going to do it. But anyway, I asked if we start talking about people today who are more concerned about pleasing the system so that they can get along in the system. And what would they do, or what would he do, if was given the challenge about making that choice? Well, he wasn't really ready to die for nothing. And so that kind of tells you how people can be controlled and will stray away from the truth when it comes to trying to educate somebody else. They'll come up with all kinds of things except the truth, especially if it means something very drastic. And I say this about perhaps the tool of graduation being death is because it happened to those people who changed their mind and decided to follow God or to listen to Jesus. It happened to Jesus. Even in modern times, those who stand up and follow the dictates of Christ, or those who have given their lives for a higher good, they still get killed. So I was thinking, is this the graduation? You know, because you got millions and millions of people in America, and I'm sure more than that on the earth, swearing that they are servants of God, filled with fire and the Holy Ghost. But if their lives were on the line, are they still claiming that? Are they? The evidence before us today is no, they are not. Now, could that possibly be the tool to determine who is eligible for graduation into that world, into that kingdom of people who choose God and want to be led by God's principles so that they could have the desires of their heart? Is that perhaps the graduation requirement, that you stand up for what's right, don't accept anything that is not, and maybe the world will change or you will kill for it? I ask that question to you. What would you do? What would you do? Somebody said when we talk about money, I told you about the money was a tool of the devil. I in fact told you that money was God to man. And somebody said, well, look, you remember when the disciple asked Jesus about paying taxes? And I said, yes. He said, well, what do you think about it? I said, well, he said, to render to Caesar that which is Caesar, and to God that which is God. So if you're walking around with money, if you got a job at the bank, if you got a job at 3M, if you got a job teaching school, if you got a job, any kind of job, digging ditches, cleaning toilets, and you getting a paycheck for it, that means you have accepted Caesar's way. You've accepted Caesar's government. And if Caesar requires that you pay certain taxes or this or that and the other, then you must do it. See, because you've given up your rule. You're not no longer the power. You are in bondage. You are in slavery. You do what you are dictated to. Your leaders that tricked you said they work for you. They don't. They work for the system. And now they have set up in those private rooms and determined that they need more money from you to do what they plan to do for whatever reason they want to do it. It has nothing to do with you. They'll come back and tell you some skinny lie so you won't be too upset. And then if they tell you a lie, they're going to say it in such a way that part of you will go along with it and the others won't. That's why you got Republican and Democrat. Somebody go along with it, somebody won't. Neither one of them are standing against it. Not to the point that they will really do something about it. Because to do something about it, to be real about it, means they will die, and they're not ready for that graduation. So, the system that originally was designed for you. The power is you. And what we have today in our society is, as I indicated often, the Satan running the show. And the people are just pawns. They are just in bondage, and they are slaves. So even if the earth is at university for you to make the decision, people are flunking. I mean, they're flunking out. And every now and then, maybe somebody graduates. And it's one. It's not two or three. It's not a group of them. It's one. What they say, straight is the way and narrow is the gate, only big enough for one. Now, there could be a lot of ones if the people choose it. But they're not choosing it. It's going in every now and then one. But the gate that leads to destruction, man's way, the devil's way, Satan's way, that gate is wide. And the people come in droves and masses. Why? Because they don't want to die. And that lie started in the garden. Oh, see, if you do this, you're going to surely die. But if you obey me, you won't die. So, God says, if the word is true, that even if they try to kill you, they might destroy your body, but they will not destroy you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this have any significance to you. I don't know if it means anything to you. But you young people, you've been lied to something else. I mean, old as I am, I was lied to. Those people that raised me, old as they were lied to. Everybody been lied to. And so I just want to say this. If you want peace and prosperity and have, let me just back up a little bit. I just saw an interview where PBS was interviewing, I believe it's PBS, Mattis. Now, you know, Mattis was ex-secretary of the military, secretary of the United States military. And I believe that's right. If not, he was secretary of something having to do with the military. And he's just done a book, and he was being interviewed. And this, I can't think I can't think of her name right now. This was one of the questions she asked. She says, if Trump was a threat, really detrimental to this country, would you tell the people? He said, yes. Then she asked the question, is he? He said, I can't answer that. Then she said, does that mean he's not a threat? He said, no, I'm not saying that. What does that say? Now, that's what you call hypocrisy. That ain't nothing but a big fake. And so this is what I want you to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen. In the system that you live under, that's controlled by the powers that be and not you, the military, the generals, you can't depend on them. They got a code that they operate under. And they follow that code. They don't care if it hurts you. They don't care who it hurts. They follow that code. Now, there might be one or two amongst them, just like people who, one or two of you, who will give your life to stand up for what's right. There might be one or two of them that will do the right thing. But what good is one or two of them when everybody else is ready to do the wrong thing? They have no more power than you, the people. When one or two people stand up and do what's right, you go straight down that path wherever they lead you to. So if they get one or two in the military, in the general position or position of power that will do the right thing, the rest of them will roll right over you. So while you're not being rolled over just yet, while you're not being dumped on just yet, you better try to find some reason, some way to connect with God and God's plan. Because I want to tell you, the storms are coming. There's no doubt about it. Don't think that tomorrow is going to be better than today. Don't be hoping that 5 years from now is going to be better than today. If anybody thinks that, you are deceiving yourself. You are absolutely deceiving yourself. Nature will not stand and allow the things to happen on this earth continuously the way that they're acting or going. And if you, the people, can't stand up, nature going to do its thing, and you're going to find yourself in a hot spot. Till next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye